It has been little over a week since God told me it was time to level up my life and to help other women do the same. Now you can go ahead and call me delusional, but as a newly divorced single mom in her 30s, I think it's time I take matters into my own hands and create a single girl bucket list where I will be doing everything that I've ever desired in a man and never actually seen it done by him. I have come to realize that it was me who needed to set that standard for myself and not depend on a man to do every single thing for me just so that I could feel validated or worthy of love. No, girly girl. We are going to step up our game by ensuring that we love on ourselves first so that if or when another man walks in our lives, girly girl, we will not be flabbergasted by the fact that he is treating us good because we're already doing it for ourselves. So I have here my first activity from my single girl bucket list, and I want to read to you what it says. It says, he reminds me that my happiness means the world to him. Now I am replacing this by saying, I remind myself that my happiness means the world to me. It is important that I remind myself that my happiness means the world to me. It is important that I remind myself that my happiness means the world to me. The decisions that I make may not have been one that everybody agrees with, but I need to remind myself today that my happiness means the world to me. You guys, it is so coincidentally that I picked this one for today. A lot of persons may be asking me, how is it that I knew it was time for me to exit my relationship? How is it that I knew it was over? What were the signs? What were the things that made me feel as though I was done, I was over it, I did not want to bother with this anymore? And so just choosing this for the very first activity really just speaks everything. It really just aligns with everything that have been going on in my life over the last year or two. And that is where I had to understand that my happiness, you guys, was the world to me. It had to mean the world to me. My happiness had to be at the forefront. I needed to take charge of every aspect of my life. And so that was one of the major signs that I used to know that my relationship of 10 years was over. I was not at peace. There were days when I would wake up and I would ask myself, what am I doing? Why am I in this mess? Why is it that I can't go after the things that I really want to go after? Why is it that I'm not pushing as much as I want to push? And that is because I realized that I was not overly happy. I was not contented. I needed to find that space where I felt completely at ease, and it was not so, you guys. It just felt like there was a void. There was a void that I could not fully pinpoint because everything was masking. You have 2 children, and so you find that it's very easy for you to forget about how you are actually feeling because of other circumstances in your life. And children are a major part of this. You can mask the way how you're feeling by saying to yourself, oh, I have children, I have to think about their feelings first, I have to think about how they're going to cope with all of these changes. And so 99% of the time, you guys, we push our feelings aside, or true feelings that is aside, because we're so much dive into how other persons feel. And so I had to become very accountable of my own emotions, very accountable of my own feelings, and realize that I was not happy. I was not contented. I was not at peace, and I needed to take a break to focus on myself. And that's when I realized that this was time for it to end. For too long, I have been putting my feelings aside. For too long, I have been afraid of the outcome. For too long, I was like saying to myself, you know what, girl, it's best you just stay in this position. It's best you just allow yourself to deal with it. It will pass. And girl, it will not pass. Let me tell you this, you're only going to get worse. You're only going to sit in your mind. And a few years later, you're going to surely regret the fact that you did not take that step earlier to push forward in changing your life for you. And so I had to take that time, you guys, where I allowed myself to get serious. I had to reach that point where I allowed myself to be very vulnerable with me. I had to be very honest with myself. I had to be very open with myself. And that is me being very much knowledgeable of the fact that I was not happy. There were red flags that I kept ignoring. There were just some very blunt things that I was not picking out on. I was afraid that people would look at me bad. I was afraid that people would judge me. I was afraid of the stigma in becoming a single mother. So because of all of that, I just kept putting off my feelings. I kept putting off my feelings. I kept putting off my emotions, not realizing that at the end of the day, I needed to ensure that I was utterly happy. This was about me. I needed to take charge of my happiness and do whatever it takes to ensure that I reach that goal. And so that's how I knew that my 10 years relationship was done and over with. I knew that there was a void, and when you are in a relationship, you're supposed to feel complete. You're not supposed to be feeling as though you are deteriorating as a person. You're supposed to be on a journey of becoming a better person when you are with somebody. So if you find that when you're with somebody you are declining as a person, then I kid you not, girly girl, it is time for you to walk away. It is time for you to step back. It is time for you to do a rain check on everything that is going on and understand that yes, it may have been 10 years, it may have been 15 years, it may have been 30 years. The bottom line is, are you happy? Are you contented? Are you at peace? If it is that you can't say that you're 100% happy being with the person that you are, for whatever reason it may be, then I kid you not when I say it is time for you to walk away, because you're going to spend another 15 years, another 10 years, another 20 years stuck in that relationship, and then when it's really too late for you to move on, you're going to regret the fact that you did not take that chance when you had the opportunity to walk away and find utter peace. That has to be surrounded by me feeling complete joy in my life, and this was not so as I was going through this 10-year relationship. So girly girl, I want you to take that step back and do a rain check and ask yourself this very simple, honest and hard question at the same time. Are you happy?
It's alright, I can make it home by myself. I've got your words inside my mind. Nobody told me it was gonna turn out like this, but that's alright, that's alright, that's alright. I watch the sun climbing over buildings and bridges. I guess we lost track of time. Nobody knew it was gonna turn out like this, but that's alright, that's alright, that's alright.
So the final part to this bucket list is ensuring that I write out exactly how I feel at the end of each activity that I have done. And I want this to be your sign, girly girl, where you get up and start to make those changes in your life. It is your responsibility to ensure that you are being fulfilled in every single thing that you do on a day-to-day basis. Your happiness matters. So if being in a relationship is taking that away from you, baby girl, I want you to take that step back and put your happiness first. Put your emotions first. Don't put it off thinking that things will get better, because it will not. I promise you that sometimes it is best you do life by yourself than trying to do it with somebody that does not make you feel complete.
I've got this feeling inside. You got your...
I thought that being with somebody for 10 years was enough to make me completely happy, but this was not so. I had to be accountable for the fact that I was not feeling at peace in my day-to-day life, and so making this step where I went ahead and chose my happiness may be your sign as well, girly girl, to put your shoes on and step out in faith, believing that you can find your happiness as well.
It's in my history. This is the best of me.
This, you guys, I kid you not when I say this is a life-changing activity. If it is that you have not yet gone ahead and create your single girl bucket list, girl, I need you to go ahead and create your single girl bucket list. I need you to go ahead and do this activity, because just doing this for the first time myself, it feels like a burden is already being lifted off me. You need to do your single girl bucket list. I kid you not, you need to do it. So at the end of it all, I had to make that uncomfortable decision and choose my own happiness. And you can do the same, baby girl. It does not matter all the excuses that you're telling yourself. At the end of the day, you will feel so good knowing that you put yourself first, and that is all that matters. My name is Octavia, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye now.
This is the best of me. Here is the rest of me.